Welcome back to day 3 of working on my Hawkeye build. So in the last video we got this car, for the majority of the part, completely wet sanded down and like 98% compounded. So in this video today we're going to be finishing out the compounding on the hood and the 2 front fenders, and then we need to polish everything out and make it look good again. So let's go ahead and knock out some polishing, some compounding, and some more wet sanding, and then compounding and polishing again. So we've been at this hood for a while now, and I kind of got this process figured out. Before I show you this hood, you can see like I wasn't reaching all these spots, and the roof kind of looks like crap, to be honest with you. I thought I did a pretty good job. Might just be because I was tired that night and wanted to get it done, and I said, you know what, mediocre is good enough. Mediocre is not good enough. So the hood was also mediocre. And you can see, I haven't re-hit this spot yet. You see all the, I guess, crap and swirl marks that are in there. I mixed up my process a little bit. In last video, we talked about what I'm going to be polishing this with, and it was the orange pad with the Meguiar's compound. So my orange pad got dirty, and I decided to use a microfiber cutting pad. This is the DMC5 from Meguiar's, and I was like, you know what? Meguiar's, it would go good. Not on this paint. And I do think that using a microfiber pad takes a lot more skill than the foam pads from like Chemical Guys. So we went back to the orange pad and the Meguiar's Ultra Cut compound. And here's a before with the microfiber pad. And now here is an after with the Chemical Guys pad. So pretty much what I'm saying is we're gonna have to redo this whole car in compound and polish. So that's fine, we'll get it done. But just the difference alone from this, you can see, to that. It's such a small difference, but it makes like the biggest changes when correcting this paint. So we need to go ahead and finish up this hood. We can go on to some of the other spots that we missed on this car, redo the roof. And then we got to go wet sand the side skirts. And then we have some repainting to do. But I'm going to finish knocking out this hood. I just wanted to tell you that if you are going to be polishing your car, personally, I would use the Chemical Guys stuff. It's a lot more user-friendly, and you get really good results, and it doesn't take as much skill as like the microfiber cutting pads. So you have a lot more room for error. It's just such a drastic difference from over there to over here. So let's get it fixed. Alright, well, we have this entire car fully compounded out. And it looks absolutely insane. I, however, am not pleased. The wet sanding and the polishing, well, the wet sanding that I did, obviously it looks 18,000 times better. But it's just, I don't know if you can see it. It's just not perfect, and it's bugging me. So I think I'm going to have to re-wet sand this car. We're not going to do that for a while. We have a lot more things to wet sand and polish and get close. But I will say, this trunk did turn out absolutely amazing. I got it all figured out. I got the process worked out. I wasn't taking my time when actually correcting this paint. I was going a lot faster than I needed to. I was making passes a lot faster than I needed to, and it just turned out crappy. So I slowed down, used less compound, and this is how it turned out. Now it looks like a freaking mirror, along with the rest of this car. There's still some spots that I'm just not happy with that I'm going to probably have to like spot wet sand and make perfect. We'll deal with that a lot later. One thing that we do have to get done today is we need to get those side skirts wet sanded and polished so that we can go ahead and put those back on this car, because there's a couple things that we have to install on this car before we can move any further, because we are going to have to lift this car up. So let's get those side skirts on the table, get that wing moved, and we can go ahead and get that started. Okay, so we have these guys here. They're a little beat up. We did fix them really well, actually, compared to what they were on the bottom of the car. So this part goes to the ground. So I'm not like as worried about the bottom here. I want to get it as close to perfect as possible. But I'm most worried about like up here, just getting that as beautiful as it can be, so that when we go and put it on the car, it doesn't look like bunk. So let's get that guy wet sanded and polished. And I want to say one thing that I learned. I was using the DA that hooks up to the air compressor, and I don't think my air compressor is big enough to really take this down, because my DA slows down a good bit and then I don't get a good cut. So one thing that I did, if you have an air compressor that's not big like mine, I have a wood DA sander, and I put my interface pad on it with my 1500, 2000, 3000 grit, and it cuts so much better. If you don't have an air compressor that's big enough to keep up with a DA sander with an air chuck, highly recommend just going and getting a wood sander, because that will save you 1,000 hours. I have some unfortunate news about these side skirts. My mess up again. So, as you can see, these are sanding out fine. They still need a good bit on this, but this doesn't really matter because this faces the ground. The one part that faces the top is right here. And if you could look really closely, it does not have really any clear coat on it. This one over here for the driver's side is kind of worse. So that's how it looks. And I tried to wet sand these out and polish them, and then I put them up against an actual clear coated panel. As you can see, they do not look good whatsoever. So these are pretty high scene items, and I don't think I can save them without repainting them. So we're going to have to put these back in the booth along with the rear bumper and the hood scoop. So all that's going to need to get painted. But we have made some wild progress on this car so far. This paint has turned out really well, and this is about, I don't know, I'd say like 2 weeks since being painted to now where it's wet sanded and polished and actually looks pretty decent. There's still a good bit of work to do to make it look any better. I haven't wet sanded and polished the bumper yet, but you can just see the difference from here to the hood. It's gonna look good. It's just a lot of work. So I think that's where I'm gonna wrap up today's video. Next video, let's repaint these parts and let's finish this car completely, because I am I'm pretty tired of sanding. So let's get this car finished. Next video, let's repaint these pieces. I am like mentally drained of sanding. The amount of sanding that I've had to do on this car is crazy. It just means I'm not a good painter. But we can become a better painter. Let's test out our new painting skills on these guys, the hood scoop, and everything else that needs to be painted, and the rear bumper. Let's just repaint the whole car while we're at it. Either way, we have made some absolute awesome progress. This car looks so much better than it did before, as you can see. Absolutely crazy. But I think that's where I'm going to end up today's video. I appreciate every single one of you watching. Thank you guys so much, and I can't wait to get this car done. If you like this type of content, please like, comment, subscribe. Help push this video out to a lot of other people. It means the world to me. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.